Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. Today, we are joined by a woman whose life has been the subject of countless legends and myths. Please welcome Pocahontas.
Thank you, Calvin.
We are honoured to have you. For those who may somehow not know who you are, who are you?
I am a daughter of Wahunsinica, whom many know as Chief Powhatan. In my own time and land, I was a bridge between my people, the Powhatan, and the English settlers who arrived on our shores.
When and where were you born?
I was born around the year 1596. My home was the Tidewater region of what you now call Virginia, specifically near the village of Werowocomoco.
What was your given name at birth?
My secret, formal name was Matoka. Later, I was also known as a Monute.
Is there a story behind your birth name?
Matoaka means flower between two rivers, which reflected the beauty of our lands. However, the name Pocahontas was a nickname given to me by my father. It means playful one or little wanton, because I was always running, jumping, and full of energy as a child.
What was your hometown like growing up?
Werowocomoco was a place of great spirit. It sat along the York River, surrounded by deep forests and fertile land. It was the heart of our Confederacy, always bustling with people, trade, and the rhythms of the seasons.
What was your family life like?
I was one of many children, as my father had many wives. I was very dear to my father. He called me his delight. I grew up surrounded by sisters and brothers, learning the ways of our people from the women of the village.
What kind of kid were you?
I was curious and very active. I loved to do cartwheels in the middle of the village, sometimes even challenging the English boys to see who could keep going the longest. I was never one to sit still.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
As a child in our culture, we didn't dream of jobs the way you do now. I dreamed of being a strong woman who contributed to the life of my village, perhaps someone who could understand the mysteries of the world around us.
Was there a moment where you realised you were different from everyone else?
It was when the Tosantasis, the English, arrived. While many were fearful or angry, I felt a deep curiosity. I realized I had a capacity to look past the strangeness of their clothes and language, to see the people underneath.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Choosing to learn the English language. At first, it was just a way to communicate during trade for beads and copper, but it eventually made me the primary translator and negotiator between two very different worlds.
What was your biggest break?
I suppose it was being chosen as an emissary to Jamestown. It allowed me to bring food to the settlers during their starving time, which established a peace that saved many lives on both sides for a time.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
The tension was constant. It was heartbreaking to see the misunderstandings lead to violence. Trying to keep the peace when both sides were so hungry and suspicious was a heavy burden for someone so young.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
Observation. I spent hours watching how the English built their homes and how they spoke. Listening is a habit that serves anyone well, especially a peacemaker.
What was your life like before fame?
It was a life tied to the earth. We moved with the seasons, planting corn, gathering nuts, and celebrating the harvests. It was a life of community where everyone had a role.
How did relationships change after success?
It became complicated. My role as a diplomat meant I spent less time with my own people and more time among the English. Eventually, I was even baptized and took the name Rebecca.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
Being treated as a curiosity. When I traveled to England, I was dressed in stiff, heavy clothes and paraded before royalty as a civilized princess. I missed the freedom of the woods and the feel of the wind.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
Many people think my life was a grand romance with John Smith. In truth, he was more like a brother or a mentor to me when I was a young girl. My true partnership was with John Rolfe, the man I married and moved to England with.
What's something people misunderstood about your life?
People often think I abandoned my culture. I didn't see it that way. I saw myself as an ambassador, expanding my world to include both the Powhatan and the English.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My father, Wahunsenaka. He taught me the importance of leadership and the weight of responsibility toward one's people.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was preparing to return home to Virginia. I had spent time in London and was eager to bring my son Thomas back to the land of my birth to see my family again.
When and where did you pass away?
It was in March of 1617. I was aboard a ship off the coast of Gravesend, England, getting ready to sail back across the ocean.
What happened?
I fell very ill quite suddenly. Some say it was pneumonia or perhaps smallpox. I was taken ashore at Gravesend, but I did not recover.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I was a very skilled barber. I used to help the Englishmen with their hair and grooming when I visited Jamestown.
What was your favorite food?
I loved roasted corn and succotash, but I also developed a fondness for the English bread once I lived among them.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Do not fear the unknown. Change is like a river. You can fight the current and tire yourself, or you can learn to swim with it and see where it leads. Peace is always worth the effort of understanding.
Thank you so much for sharing those incredible stories with us. Before we sign off, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to share with our listeners?
Only that I hope people remember me not just as a character in a storybook, but as a woman who loved her people and tried to find a way for two worlds to live as one. It was a gift to speak with you, Calvin.
Thank you again, Pocahontas. It was truly a pleasure. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.